What if I told you your landlord could be breaking California law right now, and you may not even know it? Maybe they're threatening to kick you out, ignoring serious repairs, walking into your place without a warning, or trying to pressure you so badly that you just give up and move. Listen, if you're struggling to pay bills, worried about eviction, stressed out over rent, or just sick of feeling taken advantage of, this video matters. Welcome to Benefit Breakdown. This channel is for informational and educational purposes only. Always check with your local county office or website for the latest information. Here's the truth. In California, landlords have rules they must follow too. Some of the things landlords try to get away with, flat out illegal. Today, I'm breaking down what your landlord legally cannot do in California in 2026. In plain English, no confusing legal jargon. Because knowing even one of these rights could save you thousands of dollars. Or maybe even stop an illegal eviction. And make sure you stick around until the end, because one of these protections surprises almost everybody. And there's one mistake renters make all the time that accidentally hurts their own case. Let's get into it. Quick heads up before we start. These are California statewide laws, meaning protections that generally apply across the state. But depending on where you live, places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, San Diego, or some other cities, you may actually have extra protections on top of state law, especially when it comes to rent and control eviction. All right, let's start with one of the biggest things landlords absolutely cannot legally do. Your landlord cannot lock you out. This one shocks people. Even if you owe rent, even if you're behind, even if your landlord is furious, they generally cannot legally change the locks and throw you out without going through the court eviction process. Let me say that again. Your landlord cannot just decide you're out and lock you out. In California, most evictions have to go through a legal court system called the unlawful detainer process. Real world example. Imagine you come home from work and suddenly your key doesn't work, or your stuff is outside, or the landlord says, "You're done, get out." That can be an illegal lockout. And here's a mistake renters make. They panic, they leave, and they never document what happened. If this happens, take photos, save texts, record dates. Call local legal aid or tenant resources immediately. Most renters don't know this. Being behind on rent does not automatically erase your rights. Number 2, your landlord cannot shut off utilities to force you out. It's hard to believe that this still happens. Some landlords think, well, if I make life miserable enough, they'll leave. Nope. In California, landlords cannot initially shut off essential services to pressure you into moving out. That means things like water, electricity, gas, heat. And if utilities are in your lease, initially cutting them off to force you out may be illegal too. Translation? They can't try to make your life more miserable so you leave on your own. That's not how the law works. If this happens, document everything. Photos, texts, utility notices, screenshots, because proof matters. 3, your landlord cannot just walk into your home. All right, this one causes a lot of drama. Your landlord cannot just show up and walk into your space whenever they feel like it. I don't care if they own the building. I don't care if they say, well, technically it's my property. California law generally requires reasonable notice, typically 24-hour written notice for most non-emergency entries. Usually for things like repairs, inspections, showing the unit, maintenance. Now, there are exceptions. If there's a fire, flooding, a burst pipe, or some emergency, well, that's different. But random surprise visits, usually not okay. Now here's where tenants accidentally hurt themselves if a landlord gives proper notice. If a landlord gives proper notice for a legitimate repair and you refuse access over and over, that can create problems too. Know your rights, but be reasonable. Your landlord cannot retaliate against you. Most renters have no idea this protection exists. Let's say you complain about mold, broken heat, unsafe wiring, a leaking roof, pest infestation, or you report code violations. Your landlord cannot legally retaliate against you for asserting your rights. And retaliation can look like suddenly threatening eviction, harassing you, trying to intimidate you, cutting services, or suddenly becoming aggressive after you complain. Here's a real example. You ask them to fix unsafe mold. 3 days later, suddenly they are saying, maybe it's time for you to move. Big red flag. Now, this is important. Retaliation cases come down to documentation. Save emails, save texts, create a timeline because memories fade. Paper trails don't. Your landlord cannot ignore serious repairs. This next one is huge. California landlords generally must provide habitatual living conditions, meaning the place has to be reasonably safe to live in. We're talking basics like working plumbing, hot water, heat, safe electrical systems, waterproofing, no serious health hazards or safety hazard. A landlord usually can't just shrug and say, deal with it later, or you deal with it. And here's where renters accidentally hurt themselves. They only complain over the phone. Don't do that. Always put repairs requests in writing. Text, email, certified letter if needed. Why? Because if this ever turns into a legal dispute, proof wins. No proof, you're fighting an uphill battle. Your landlord cannot discriminate against you. This one is serious. California and federal fair housing laws generally prohibit landlords from discriminating based on protected characteristics. Things like race, religion, disability, sex, national origin, family status, sexual orientation. And California has protections related to lawful source of income, including many housing assistance situations. For example, refusing to rent to someone because they have kids. Potential problem? Refusing reasonable disability accommodation. Potential problem? If something feels off, write it down immediately. What was said? When? Who said it? Because details matter. Let's talk about money, because this one drives renters absolutely nuts. A landlord cannot simply keep your security deposit because they feel like it. California generally limits security deposits for many rentals to 1 month's rent, although some small landlord exceptions may apply. And landlords generally can't charge you for normal wear and tear. Normal wear would mean minor scuffs, light carpet wear, small nail holes. What's not normal? Major damage, destroyed walls, broken fixtures. Here's a pro tip. Before moving out, film everything. Walls, cabinets, bathrooms, floors, inside appliances. Because when deposit disputes happen, evidence beats arguments every single time. Your landlord cannot raise rent however they want. Now this one gets tricky because the answer is it depends. California has statewide rent cap protections that apply to many rentals, but not all properties qualify. Some single-family homes may be exempt. Some newer buildings may be exempt. And some cities have stronger local rent control. So if your rent suddenly jumps up, don't automatically assume it's legal, but don't automatically assume it's illegal either. Check, is your property covered? Is it exempt? Does your city have stronger protections? Most renters never check, and they end up paying increases they maybe didn't have to accept. Your landlord cannot harass or intimidate you into leaving. Last one, and honestly this one happens more than people realize. A landlord generally cannot try to bully, harass, or intimidate you into leaving instead of following a legal procedure. Things like repeated threats, constant unwanted visits, aggressive pressure, trying to scare you into moving. Sometimes people think, well, I guess there's nothing I can do. Not true. If something feels wrong, try documenting immediately, because fear makes people silent, but documentation protects you. All right, I want to hear from you. What's the worst thing a landlord has ever tried to pull on you? Drop it in the comments. And if this video helps you, hit the subscribe button And don't forget to hit that bell as we do updates all the time. If you know somebody who could use this video, please share it with them. We'd really appreciate that. And remember, just because a landlord says something is legal doesn't mean it actually is. Thanks for watching.